Oh, thanks a lot, Mr. I Can't Walk Without Hurting Someone.
Hello there, my name is Crusty Chalupa. I'm a new face around here around this YouTube block. In order to get to know me better, I might as well tell you a few things about myself. My favorite food is rat poison. My favorite film
is the Emoji Movie.
and my favorite piece of shit
is the Emoji Movie.
2018 was a very big year, a very good year for some people, and a very bad year for some people. For me, I thought it was just alright. Some good stuff, some bad stuff, some scary stuff, some nice stuff. This is my 2018 list of favorites. My favorite films throughout the year, the ones that I saw throughout January to December. Well, there's only one qualification you have to make my list. You have to score an 8 out of 10 or above, and you have to have a limited or wide theatrical release in 2018. That's the only rule. I think this movie was very, very enjoyable. It's a very crowd-pleasing movie. David Lowery used a very specific sense of the 70s style. Robert Redford was really good in this movie. I'm glad that he's going out on a high note since this is supposed to be his retirement. I really enjoyed Sissy Spacek as well. She was quite good. Danny Glover, Tom Waits. Anyway, I highly recommend this movie. Holy shit, this fucking movie. Wow. It feels like the movie that it was advertising itself to be. It was this big, epic, like, huge blockbuster movie. My favorite villain of the Marvel series, Thanos, is just fucking tremendous. The effects that Josh Brolin had put on him looked fucking phenomenal. Definitely they put all the Black Panther money into making Thanos look as good as he possibly could, and for that I am forever grateful. The ending is amazing. It's my favorite of the entire MCU so far, and it reaffirms Doctor Strange's status as my new favorite character. I don't think Endgame is going to be as good as this movie, but I'm hoping it's at least solid. First thing I have to get off my chest here is Viola Davis is too fucking good. She gives such a great performance in this movie, I swear to God. And then you also have Elizabeth Debicki, you have Colin Farrell, you have Brian Tyree Henry, I hope I'm saying that correctly, and you have Daniel Kaluuya, who has an awesome performance in the movie. He was fucking fantastic. And Steve McQueen directed some very solid action sequences. It has some very biting political and social commentary. And above all, watch this movie for Viola Davis because she's great and tremendous and she deserves your time and attention. Okay, thank you. I hate to use that little snippet from the behind the scenes footage of The Phantom Menace, but
it's so dense. Every single image has so many things going on.
Now, I know that this movie isn't packed full of crowd shots. Sometimes you have quiet moments like two people conversating in a garage or a bedroom. But when it comes to these big crowd shots, Alfonso Cuarón just knocks it out of the park. Everybody's doing one specific thing. It's just so full of detail, and then he pans the camera around so slowly just to make sure that you get a good look at every detail that is in the movie. It's just phenomenal, masterful direction. I hope he does win the Oscar for Best Director because, by God, with those crowd shots, he really deserves it. Ryan Gosling had a very terrific performance as Neil Armstrong. He was very stoic. He was very introverted. He's like very closed in. He's very not like, open towards other people, even towards his wife. What can I say? A very solid movie from Damien Chazelle. The score was fantastic, especially on the moon landing sequence. And I hope you guys saw this in IMAX, because when I went to go see it in IMAX, I was the only person in there, so hope this movie gets more eyes on it. It's the best Spike Lee has been since 2002, although in between the timeline between 2002 and right now, he made Inside Man, and that's a very solid movie as well. But Black Klansman is it's not very subtle in what it's trying to tell, but it's what we need at the moment. I won't get into the whole political situation and the whole social stance of modern times right now, but the way that Spike Lee uses it in his movie, it's not subtle, but it's effective. And above all, it should be effective. John David Washington, he had a very, very good performance in this movie. And I thought Adam Driver did a very good job as well. And I really enjoyed the score. I really love jazzy scores. Very, very great Wes Anderson movie. The animation is very much improved from Fantastic Mr. Fox. The voice cast is fantastic. The score is fantastic as well. You're going to hear me say that score is fantastic as well a lot throughout this video. Apologies in advance. Very funny, very sharply written. The guy that wrote this movie and directed it, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Armando Iannucci. He's a very good writer, and he knows how to handle political satire perfectly. Above all, the fact that this movie is 100% based on true events, it goes above and beyond. It's literally writing jokes on top of actual events. You should watch his other work. He's done Veep, he's done The Thick of It, I also enjoy that, and In the Loop, I also enjoy that as well. It's very joyful. It's almost too innocent to exist in a world like this, but I'm glad that it does. This movie makes a great use of cinematic language. I love Ben. Solid all around the board. Just a great movie. Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone give tremendous performances, but Olivia Colman gives one of the best female performances of the entire year. I have her tied for the best female performer of the year with another person on this list. You might see it coming up a little bit soon. But Olivia Colman just knocked it out of the park, man. She was so good. And Yorgos Lanthimos, he did an excellent job in telling this, what might be his most sanctified story yet, but it's still a little fucked up. It's Yorgos Lanthimos after all. And the production design and the costume design was just out of this world. I hope they both get Oscar nominations and wins, because the people in those departments did such a fantastic job. Holy shit. It looks so good. Speaking of terrific female performances in 2018, can we please get Toni Collette an Oscar nomination this very instant? Because, by God, does she deserve it. She deserves it so bad. And this movie is just a terrific horror movie. I love slow burn horror, and Ari Aster he just slowly built up the tension. And Toni Collette, she just knocked it out of the park. I hope she gets the Oscar nomination. Please, God. My favorite animated film this year. Uh, Definitely one of the best Spider-Man movies since Spider-Man 2. It's so colorful, it's so stylized, it's so visually gorgeous. It's the best product Sony has released this year. That's not God of War. And on top of that, you have just this very solid story. It's a very greatly told story. I really like Shamik Moore as Miles Morales. I really like Jake Johnson as Spider-Man. The other Spider-Man. The rest of the voice cast is perfect, and it's very, very funny to boot. Yes, please go see Spider-Verse. It deserves your money. It has so much to say about racial identity, police brutality, gentrification. It has so much to say about all these things, and it never feels cluttered or overstuffed. It just flows so smoothly, and it's all in part because of the screenplay. The screenplay is just fantastic, and it was written by the two main leads of the movie, and I hope they find more work in the future, because what they did is just very, very, very phenomenal. It's the best performance of Ethan Hawke's career, by far. One of the best directed films that Paul Schrader has probably made. I don't know, I haven't seen most of his other work, but I have seen Taxi Driver, and this movie reminds me the most of Taxi Driver. It deals with these like themes of industrialization, faith, radicalism, like loss of faith and insanity. It just it's so poetic, and the cinematography. The camera doesn't do any flashy moves, whips and pans or tilts. It just stays still, and every frame it just looks so gorgeous because it's precisely oriented, and it's shot in like this 4:3 or 1:1 aspect ratio, and it just looks perfect. It's one of my favorite films of the year. It's number 3 on the spot. It's First Reformed. Definitely one of my favorite action movies since Mad Max Fury Road. The action sequences are just out of this world. The whole rooftop chase sequence is one of my favorite sequences of all time in any Mission Impossible film. And we must commend Tom Cruise as being the most dedicated actor working in Hollywood today, because the man is willing to break an ankle for this simple little action movie, and yet he still does it. Fallout, more like ball out. This movie was like staring into a mirror, and what I saw on the other side of that mirror was my experience in 8th grade, because I did a bunch of cringy shit. I wanted to be the popular kid. I wanted to be, the coolest one on the block. And what Bo Burnham has done is just outstanding, just fantastic all around. The screenwriting is perfect. The characters are just brilliant. Elsie Fisher is also brilliant. The editing in this movie, there's like 3 pieces of editing that are by far my favorites of the year, and they all happen to be connected to one another. It's just a very, very good movie. It's excellent. I feel like when I watch this movie in the future for subsequent viewings, it's just going to get better and better with every watch that I make. And that's why I think it deserves to be number 1 on my list. What a fantastic movie. Fantastic year, fantastic movies. And if you wanted to see my honorable mentions, Here they are.
Annihilation, A Quiet Place, A Star is Born, Blockers, Deadpool 2, Game Night, Incredibles 2, Overlord, Ready Player One, Sorry to Bother You, Support the Girls, Teen Titans, Go to the Movies, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, The Sisters Brothers, Three Identical Strangers, Max Keeble's Big Move.
Next time, I can come back onto this YouTube channel and make something like a review show. Maybe I can do a vlog or something. I don't know. I think it's going to be very exciting for me. I think it's the start of a brand new something, and I'm very much looking forward to that. So stick around, and next time I'm going to watch some hentai.
Get more sleep without counting sheep and have another night of bliss. Across from the bus barn in Wasilla, now is where we is. Save more bucks at the Mattress Ranch.